check! It's English O'Clock! Ang pag-aaral ng English upang madaling matutunan, bakit hindi natin simplihan? Halika! Manood at makinig sa English Teacher ni Juan! Kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na to, huwag kang matakot! I made learning English easy for you! Please like, comment, and subscribe. At pakishare mo na rin sa iba para marami pang mga Juan na gaya mo ang matuto. What's up, Grade 7? Nasa Week 5 na tayo. Konti na lang at matatapos na rin ang Quarter 3. I bet you are all excited, kaya naman magsimula na tayo. Our target learning competency for this video is Analyze propaganda techniques in a journalistic text. What is propaganda? Propaganda refers to the systematic and intentional dissemination of information, ideas, or messages to influence people's opinions, beliefs, attitudes, or actions. It often aims to promote a particular cause, ideology, or product, and it can be used for positive or negative purposes. While it can sometimes provide factual information, propaganda often involves biased, exaggerated, or emotionally charged content to persuade the audience. What then is a propaganda technique? A propaganda technique is a specific method or strategy used to spread propaganda effectively. These techniques appeal to emotions, logic, or social instincts to manipulate the audience's perception or behavior. They are designed to simplify complex issues, create strong emotional reactions, or encourage specific actions without critical evaluation. We also have two types of propaganda, the white and the black propaganda. Let's differentiate the two using this table. White propaganda is a propaganda where the source is openly acknowledged and the information is mostly truthful but selectively presented to promote a cause. Black propaganda is where the source is disguised or falsely attributed, often spreading lies, fabrications, or misinformation to deceive. The source of a white propaganda is clearly identified, for example, a government, organization, or advertiser. In black propaganda, the source is hidden or falsified to mislead the audience. In terms of content, white propaganda content relies on true but biased or incomplete information to promote a message. In black propaganda, it often contains false, misleading, or fabricated information to manipulate or harm. The purpose of white propaganda is to persuade or influence the audience positively or subtly without deceit. In black propaganda, the purpose is to mislead, confuse, or damage the reputation of an individual, group, or cause. In terms of ethical considerations, white propaganda is considered less unethical as it doesn't rely on outright falsehoods, but it may omit critical information. While in black propaganda, it is considered highly unethical due to the use of deception and misinformation. An example of white propaganda is a government releasing accurate but selective information to promote national unity. An example of black propaganda is a fake news campaign falsely attributing harmful statements to an opponent to discredit them. Let's further differentiate the two types of propaganda based on context. White propaganda. A tourism campaign highlighting only the best aspects of a country to attract visitors. For example, it's more fun in the Philippines. The information is truthful but doesn't show challenges like traffic or overcrowded tourist spots. Black propaganda. A fake social media post claiming a political rival is involved in illegal activities with no basis in truth. The aim is to spread distrust or hatred toward the target. By understanding the distinction, people can better evaluate the credibility and intent behind the information they encounter. When analyzing propaganda techniques in a journalistic text, it's important to focus on how the language and strategies are used to influence readers. In the following slides, we will compare these paired techniques: testimonials versus plain folks, and stereotyping versus fear appeals. Let's first compare testimonials versus plain folks. Testimonials uses statements or endorsements from celebrities, experts, or respected individuals to validate an idea, product, or cause. Indicators: quotes or statements from high-profile figures, for example, scientists, politicians, or celebrities. Reference to authority figures or experts, often unrelated to the subject. Example in journalism. According to Dr. Jane Smith, a leading environmental scientist, this policy will save millions of lives. Analysis: the journalist leverages the authority or popularity of the individual to persuade readers, even if the connection between the figure and the topic is tenuous. Plain folks, on the other hand, appeals to the average person by portraying the subject as relatable and part of the common people. Indicators: stories of everyday individuals or groups to build emotional connection. Language emphasizing shared values and experiences. Example in journalism. Maria, a single mother from Cebu, says that the new housing program has given her family a chance at a better life. Analysis: this technique builds relatability, encouraging readers to see the policy or idea as beneficial for ordinary citizens like themselves. Testimonials rely on authority or fame, while plain folks depend on relatability and shared experiences. The former persuades by credibility, the latter persuades by emotional connection. Let's proceed to comparing stereotyping versus fear appeals. Stereotyping reduces individuals or groups to oversimplified or generalized characteristics to influence perception. Indicators: overgeneralized statements about groups, cultures, or ideologies. Use of stereotypes to justify a claim or policy. Example in journalism. Young people today are addicted to social media, and this explains the rise in mental health issues. Analysis: the text oversimplifies complex issues, creating a narrow and possibly biased narrative about a particular group. Fear appeals uses fear of negative outcomes or consequences to persuade the audience to adopt a specific behavior or belief. Indicators: alarming or graphic descriptions, urgent warnings about consequences if no action is taken. Example in journalism. If we fail to act on climate change now, rising sea levels will displace millions by 2050. Analysis: the language instills fear to push the audience toward urgency and action, potentially bypassing critical evaluation of the evidence. Stereotyping relies on generalizations and preconceived ideas about groups, while fear appeals manipulate through emotional distress and urgency. Moreover, stereotyping may foster division, while fear appeals often inspire immediate action. In summary, testimonials versus plain folks differ in the source of influence, that is, authority versus relatability. On the other hand, stereotyping versus fear appeals differ in the emotional triggers used, that is, prejudice versus fear of consequences. Here's a sample journalistic style text for analysis, showcasing the use of testimonials versus plain folks and stereotyping versus fear appeals. The key to protecting future generations. Action on climate now. Dr. Lisa Martinez, a world-renowned climate scientist, warned during the Global Climate Summit that if emissions are not drastically reduced within the next decade, rising sea levels will submerge entire coastal cities. "We have the data," Dr. Martinez said, "and the science is undeniable. If we don't act now, millions will lose their homes and livelihoods." Meanwhile, ordinary citizens like Arnel Santos, a fisherman from a small coastal town in the Philippines, are already feeling the effects of climate change. "The fish are gone," Arnel shared. "We used to catch enough to support our family, but now we barely have anything left." Stories like Arnel's are becoming alarmingly common across Southeast Asia. Climate skeptics, often funded by fossil fuel industries, continue to deny the crisis, claiming that natural cycles, not human activity, are responsible. However, experts dismiss these claims as dangerous distractions, endangering efforts to secure a sustainable future. The stakes couldn't be higher. Without immediate action, the United Nations projects a future of food shortages, mass migrations, and widespread economic collapse. This is not just about saving the planet, Dr. Martinez concluded. It's about protecting the lives and futures of our children. Now, let's analyze the propaganda techniques used in the text. Testimonials. Dr. Lisa Martinez, a world-renowned climate scientist, warned during the Global Climate Summit. The article uses the authority of an expert to validate its claims about climate change, lending credibility to the argument. Dr. Martinez's status as a world-renowned climate scientist reinforces trust, even though readers may not have the means to independently verify her conclusions. Plain folks. Arnel Santos, a fisherman from a small coastal town in the Philippines, is already feeling the effects of climate change. The article highlights Arnel's struggles to make climate change relatable and evoke sympathy. This technique connects the abstract concept of climate change to the lived experiences of everyday people, encouraging readers to empathize with its impact. Stereotyping. Climate skeptics, often funded by fossil fuel industries, continue to deny the crisis. This statement generalizes climate skeptics as being financially motivated and dismisses their arguments without deeper exploration. While it supports the article's pro-climate action stance, it also risks alienating skeptics who may have legitimate questions. Fear appeal. Without immediate action, the United Nations projects a future of food shortages, mass migrations, and widespread economic collapse. The article uses stark warnings of catastrophic consequences to instill urgency and compel action. The vivid imagery of mass migrations and economic collapse appeals to fear, motivating readers to support immediate intervention. In conclusion, this article uses a combination of propaganda techniques to effectively persuade readers to support climate action. Testimonials lend credibility through expert opinions. Plain folks create relatability and humanize the issue. Stereotyping simplifies opposition into a dismissible group, which can polarize audiences. Fear appeals add urgency, but may lead to anxiety or avoidance if overused. Apart from journalistic texts, I will be listing down other examples of propaganda techniques commonly used in TV commercials and advertisements. We have bandwagon. It encourages people to join the crowd or be on the winning side. For example, Jollibee commercials often highlight moments where groups of friends or families enjoy meals together, suggesting everyone loves Jollibee and you should too. The message implies that since everyone else enjoys Jollibee, you're missing out if you don't. Testimonial. It features celebrities or well-known personalities endorsing a product. For example, Catherine Bernardo endorsing Nivea. The endorsement leverages Catherine's popularity to create trust in the product, as fans are likely to believe that if she uses it, it must be good. Glittering generalities. It uses appealing but vague words or phrases that are difficult to disprove. Example, Milo's slogan, energy to go further. Words like energy and further create a positive impression but do not provide concrete evidence of benefits, appealing emotionally rather than factually. Plain folks. It depicts ordinary people using or endorsing a product, creating a sense of relatability. For example, Tide commercials showing housewives doing laundry and achieving perfectly clean clothes. This strategy makes the audience feel that the product works for real. Everyday people like them. Card stacking. It presents only positive information about a product while omitting negative aspects. For example, fast food ads like McDonald's showing only fresh, perfectly arranged burgers without revealing what the actual serving looks like. By highlighting only the product's best features, the ad persuades viewers without giving the full picture. Name calling. It associates competitors with negative qualities to make their product look better. For example, rival detergent brands like Surf and Tide comparing stain removal results and subtly implying the other's product is inferior. By pointing out perceived weaknesses in competitors, the ad tries to make their own product more appealing. Emotional appeal. It evokes emotions to connect with the audience and persuade them to act. For example, Jollibee's Kwentong Jollibee series that features heartwarming stories of love and family. The emotional resonance makes the brand memorable and associated with happiness and togetherness. Repetition. It repeats a product name, slogan, or jingle to ensure it sticks in the audience's memory. For example, Bear brand slogan, Lakas at Talino, repeated in multiple ads. Constant repetition ensures the audience associates the brand with the desired qualities. Transfer. It associates a product with something well regarded, like an idea, emotion, or another product. For example, San Miguel beer commercials associating their product with camaraderie and success. By linking the beer with positive feelings or celebration and achievement, it encourages viewers to buy into that image. Fear appeal. It highlights negative consequences to promote a solution or product. For example, health-related commercials like DOH anti-smoking ads showing the dangers of smoking. The fear of harmful outcomes motivates the audience to take preventive actions, such as quitting smoking. Stereotyping. It refers to oversimplified and fixed generalizations about a group of people or a concept, often based on limited or inaccurate information. These generalizations can be positive, negative, or neutral, but usually ignore individual differences. For example, a detergent ad portraying women as the only ones responsible for household chores reinforces gender stereotypes. Stereotyping can perpetuate societal biases and limit perspectives about certain groups or roles. Stereotyping in advertising or communication can make messages more relatable to a target audience, but it also risks alienating or misrepresenting others. It's important to use inclusive and accurate portrayals to avoid perpetuating harmful stereotypes.
So did you learn something today? Sure ako na hindi ka na nosebleed. If you want more of this video tutorial and learn English in a light speed, huwag kalimutang mag-subscribe at i-turn on ang notification button para updated ka sa mga bagong lessons. Ako ang teacher mo, ang English teacher ni Juan. Class dismissed! See ya!